council meeting of the Village of Armada will now come to order for June 27th. So everyone rise for the pledge of allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you kindly. Clerk, call roll, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Bullock.
Here.
Ballard.
Yep.
Sletz.
Here.
Delkey.
Here.
Conan's absent.
What is the council's wishes for approval of the agenda,
We
please?
need to add as GB1C1, and then we'll do C2. We need to add in to amend the motion made at the regular meeting of March 28th to set the fiscal year 2022-23 proposed millage rate.
And you want that in what section?
We're going to put it just above C because we need to do it before we approve the tax rates.
Pardon me, but what?
We're putting it here under new business.
Oh,
We're gonna make
alright.
it item C1, and we'll just change C to C2.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Mr. President, I'll move the agenda be accepted as amended.
Support. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Citizen comments. Floor is opened up. State the name for the record. You have 3 minutes to address the council.
It's the first time I've ever done this.
Oh, well, welcome.
All right, my name's Roseanne Beaton-Zeppelin, and I live on the corner of Center and North, which is Fulton. And I'm just going to ask some questions. We have a nice approach on the corner of our sidewalk. They did them very nicely. And there's so much truck traffic going over it right now, it's lifting it up on the west side, and we have a huge hole on the east side. So I'm asking that, I don't know if that is considered county or if that is village, but you need to put something in there to help support that approach or it's going to go to hell. And the last thing we want is somebody on a wheelchair tipping over. Now, Louie's having a hard time getting over it. It's just a concern of ours. We'd like to see it addressed, and we are not getting less truck traffic. As you know, we are getting more. So they're pretty big trucks. They can't get around there, but when they do, boy, they're moving it. And then the other question for me, there's a couple of them. Torrey Street and Burke Street and Church Street, are they on the list to be repaired? Burke was last done when we were in high school and I was in marching band, so that's been quite a few years ago. And it's in rough shape. You go over that, you have to drive on Mr. Willock's property actually to get around some of the holes because you just bounce everything out of there. It's getting worse. And as far as Torrey Street, that's in front of our church. And bless their souls, they're passed. We've had 3 ladies that fell out in the middle of the street. Miss Kent fell 3 or 4 times and laid out there. And Shirley Pettibone fell. And now we have Roseanne falling once in a while because the holes are bad enough. If you don't see them, you twist your ankle and you're down. And they do not slow down to come down that street. So and you know one of it, it's been bad.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things. Our handicap parking is up by the pole that is to the east on Torrey. And that's where we actually gather with a snow pile. So then we have to back them up and try to get them in there. But have you ever looked on that street? How do you walk a wheelchair around there? You can't. There's a hole. And the lady that has to push him is walking with a cane. So it's not getting better. We're getting older. So we're just asking for some consideration at looking at getting that street fixed. And they've been doing a good job of sweeping it and getting the stones away from there, because that's another thing.
Yeah.
When you try pushing wheelchairs, and unfortunately there's 2 of us that are pushing wheelchairs, you can't do it. That one. The concern I seen the other night is we now have bike night or something on Fridays.
That's a fair thing.
Yeah, well, my corner's not, I'm there. We had all the ball games going on, people crossing the street, and they were leaving that corner. I seen a pedestrian almost get hit by a bike. And I'm just, how can we control that a little more? It's not that I didn't see the police around, but they were quiet when they were there. But it's just a crazy situation. Wednesday night it's in Burville, Friday night's on Armada. It's just something we need to look at, watching it, and it's now going to be safety because people are parking across at the ambets and having to walk over. They got little kids in tow. There's going to be an incident. I just think we need to kind of look at it and see, is there anything we can do besides people getting to use their brain a little more and check? But they leave that corner and you don't realize how
I'll
fast.
talk to the chief of police.
Thanks.
And also, Chris can take a look at it with Dave probably,
Okay.
about the sidewalk or, did we replace that then?
That's all been
That's-
replaced, but now it's starting to heave up because they're rolling over
Well,
it.
so it's village then, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
So if the village replaced it, we'll take a look at it.
It's just maintenance now. If we don't take care of it now, it's gonna go to pieces on you. And it's very nice to have that there.
That's right, so, well, speed is always a problem, so, but.
Well, I don't
we do-
know if it's speed, I think it's just they can't make that turn, you know.
Well, I
it's
already
so
know they have to
tight.
back them up. I mean, I see it all day long now that
Yeah.
I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, well, one guy almost got where the
But
tree
we
in the
do
trailer.
have, we do have new speed signs.
Yes,
If
very
you've
nice.
seen them.
Nice reflection on it.
So we have 2 more coming. So, the officers intend to take care of that. So, but,
It's our outer towners, most of it. I mean,
Well,
they can't do it in Royal Oak, so you come out here and make the noise.
well, if you see something too, you know, you could call. Call either the sheriff's department for radio traffic or, actually, like call the office here
Yeah.
if, someone's in the office.
Well, I just happen to see different things happen over the weekend, and it's so nice to have the ball games here and all the kids and everything. I see the skate park is working great and everything, and it's just, I hate to see this happen when you got crazy people not paying attention to pedestrians. Maybe even put a watch for pedestrian sign, maybe a crosswalk down there, but I'm not sure how our village goes, and then it's now.
Village just ends at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's just something I noticed because I'm home and I'm there and I see it, so.
I think a road commission thing for the ambets.
Yep.
Roseanne, I just wanted to add too that Chris, Steve, and I are working on an infrastructure plan.
Right.
We kind of talked about it a little bit. We're having quarterly meetings with an engineering company that is advising us, helping us understand the conditions of our roads, water lines, sewer lines, and with a possible opportunity to do some work starting in 2024. So that's an ongoing process that we're actively working right now. And next meeting will be likely July for the 3 of us. and the
Okay,
engineer.
okay.
So things are moving forward, just
Good.
slow, but they're moving.
Hey, it's, I've been
Church-
here all my life, it's been that way forever.
Church-
This is what we get
Found
proposed.
it.
Right.
Because
Right,
they're
I didn't know we
technically
had to
major
change
streets,
that.
so the
So-
monies have to come from different pools. So we can't pull, you can't do the right way with a local street. We did try to apply for a grant last year for the major street for small communities, and we were not selected. And that is a very large project, just to complete the small section, not to mention the rest of it. So as Ross said, we are tagging a list of the priorities that we can do with them. And right now, we got some local streets activities for the next year or 2 planned because of, that's what we can get money from.
Okay.
And then we'll see, because again, if it's, if it's street or sidewalk, and then we do, do water and sewer, you gotta do them all at one
Well,
time.
yeah, that's a smart way to do it.
Very good, thank
So it's
you.
there.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
Not
I'll
anyone
get
else?
Dave to take a look at it over at Fulton and Dave.
Anyone else address the council at this time? If not, there's no presentations tonight. We're gonna move on to administrative reports. You have your FRP, treasurer's report, your DPW monthly report, and liaison report. Anybody want to address the council?
Mr. President, since Doug is here, I'll let him speak for the sewer plant.
Okay, Mr. President, Council, May was kind of an eventful month for us. I'm going to dive first into the operational problems. We had a situation where the units that we use have to, what we call waste sludge, or take sludge out of the units to send them to a holding tank so that we don't overload the units. On one weekend in May, I discovered we weren't pumping any sludge out of the tanks. This went on for about 3 or 4 days. We went as far as called Metro Sewer it because we were under the impression we may have had clogged lines within the plant. After further investigation, I discovered that all 3 of the pump units, one for each unit, each of the pumps had become airbound. We could not figure out why they were airbound. We would get them primed again, and then they would lose their pressure. This is all under warranty. Kavanaugh Mechanical came in, figured out, a solution for it, and the plant did not go in violation at any point in time. This would be under the operations and the F&V report. So everything in that side is running normally. Maintenance-wise, on May 16th to 17th, Biotech came in and pumped out both of these sludge holding tanks for land application. That went smoothly. Telto Contracting was one of the subcontractors for the wastewater plant construction. They prepped, regraded all the site, and seeded it. Steve Clark has been in consultation with Sorensen Gross as the final details of silt fencing needs to be removed. Some rocks and small boulders are going to be removed from the site. And also they replaced sections of the sidewalking around the administration building that was cracked during construction. That was to our liking. So everything is on course for, the final dispensation. During the month, the number 2 mixer, and each of the units has 3 mixers. One of them started failing in April. We replaced the fuses. It went along for about a month. It blew another same set of fuses. So we called in the experts. We called Sorensen Gross, the main contractor, the mechanical contractor, and the factory. They diagnosed it as a bad motor. So the motor came in 2 weeks ago. Now there's a discrepancy because of the fact that these motors are under warranty. There's special procedures that they need to do to install them. The mechanical contractor said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to violate their warranty. So Aqua, the manufacturer, is sending representatives and technicians out. They're going to be installing those new motors. And right now, we don't have a firm date on it, but they're going to replace it. Finally, we got the roof repaired, redone on the administration building. And also at the same time, basically, there was a wash, different, misquote, the Headworks building where the sewage actually comes into, that was redone also because that had been leaking for quite some time. We checked it in consultation with Steve. I have not heard anything back that they want any more money out of it. So we got 2 birds with 1 stone in that. Minor things, Watson Brothers did a yearly maintenance as called for in our contract on the air conditioning unit for the administration building. And Telto Contracting also replaced last month the bad fire hydrant that was on the site. And that was in conjunction with DPW's fire hydrant replacements. And other than that, I'll just note that we had the massive power outage yesterday. I don't know if everybody got the details, but the transformer blew right behind the Sunrise gas station, sprayed a car with mineral oil, and they were sitting there cleaning it off. They didn't report any damage to it. DPW acted very quickly in making sure the generators that came up from the water side I made sure the wastewater side was up, and they also hustled a generator out to the subdivision with the lift station. So there were no reports of any homes backing up, so everything worked as it should.
Great.
Good.
Thanks, Doug. That's a good
You're welcome.
report, sir.
I just want to mention that in this report, there is also a water section, just for your
I
information.
can go over that.
Doug's really, he's not required to read it, but I just want to let everybody know that it is embedded in this general report.
Basically, again, it was a fairly quiet month. The wells in the water treatment plant are working fantastically. We're seeing very good results on the media change that took place April, a couple months ago. New scales are working. There's a slight leak on well number 6 that was repaired. All it was there's an air release coming off of the line. No water was leaking. The only time that it will leak is when the well is shut down and wants to leak out a little bit as the air escapes. Nothing else. That was confirmed. Everything clean sailing during the month. All tests and everything were well within the EPA and the EGLE regulations.
Good, that's what we want, so we got it finally, right? So good. Thank you kindly.
Either of you guys got a report?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to note that the DPW report, I think I put that on wrong, because I think he usually does that the second meeting, so we don't have one in
This
there.
is the second year.
Oh, where is
Yeah,
it?
okay, we are.
This is the
God
second.
help me, all right, okay.
Gotta keep us on.
It's in there.
I must have.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead real quick because
Go ahead.
I've got an abbreviated report. I'm going to pass it on to Adriana in a second so that she can brief out a couple things. But the one item I want to mention is, again, on the 13th of July, HydroCorp will be back to do the final round of inspections for the non-residential taps in the village. We've got 14 businesses that are, for various reasons, not yet in compliance. I have personally talked to every one of them. So they are aware that HydroCorp's coming and they should be ready for the inspection. There's a couple in there that are considered high hazard taps, and so we want to make sure those guys get done. A bunch of the other ones are a lot lower risk, but in any case, I have talked to everybody, and they are aware HydroCorp will be here. I will personally walk HydroCorp through all of these that day, and we're going to get all of them hopefully done, or as many as possible.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm sorry. I did have one other thing. The 2 pumps that the council approved for $30,000, Steve, the new pumps
Oh,
for
yeah.
wastewater plant. I called Kennedy Industries. They were manufactured and shipped out on the 17th of June. Because they're in Sweden by boat, we won't see them until what they're estimating is just before Labor Day. But they have, they have been built, and once I get an update on a firm date, I'll let Steve know, and we'll include that in next month's client report.
Very good, thank you kindly.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have a safe night.
And then going along, kind of with the water report side, I included other water department activities that have kind of been going on in the background. So first, working with FMV, I've come up with a sampling schedule for the non-routine tests that we're going to be doing in 2022, that they'll be doing. They do like daily chlorine tests and monthly arsenic tests, but this year I think there's about 10 different tests that EGLE's requiring. Some of them are every 3 years, some of them are every 9 years, so the attached schedule kind of shows what they are. We set up a tentative date for when they should be done so they can be sent into Trace Analytical to get their analysis done, and then they can be sent to EGLE for completion before their deadline this year. And then for other activities that we've been doing, I started a sampling kind of project at different taps in the village. We established a north, east, and west section. So I'm over at the nursing home, over at the elementary school, the water tower, and the fairgrounds, doing different testing to see the chlorine residual and see how it tests here at our central location to make sure that the chlorine is being distributed throughout the whole entire distribution system, so that before I leave, I can kind of give my analysis for if the chlorine's making it everywhere in the village, just to ensure that the water system's working. For other activities, with the township, the connection between the water tower and to the township, they've agreed to pay the village water electrical bill, and there's a quote pending for running the electrical line from the tower to the fire department.
Yeah, it's just to expand on that, one of the things that kind of a surprise to me, but it's a happy surprise, is that in addition to granting the village the ability to run a line from the water tower to the fire department's electrical panel so that we have generator power, means we don't have to put in a generator of our own, which was in the budget, so it saves us a chunk of money. They also agreed to pay the electrical bill for tower operation. It's not tremendously huge over the year, but they're going to pay it, and so we will invoice them every quarter. I've already set this up with Mary Sawacki, and that'll save us several $100s over the year. So,
You know approximately how much it'd be?
$300 to $400.
Oh,
So I'll take it, and saving us some money. And it's appreciate the gesture on the part of the township to do that.
very good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
So Ross, I see you have a motion on here.
That'll be under new business line. Oh, okay.
No? Chris, you have none?
No, good, thank you.
All right. The consent agenda, approval of the regular council meeting minutes, June 13th, and the payment of bills.
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported, Ballard and Shaw. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The old business sewer plant update, Mr.
Yeah,
Clark.
I had a meeting, well, it's been a week and a half ago now, with a representative from Sorensen Gross, who's the, he ran things down there and for the program. And I also met with the landscaper. We discussed things that needed to be done with the restoration, things that I wasn't too thrilled about, and neither was he. He had given specific orders how things should be done, and they weren't. So we walked around the grounds with the landscaper. They said that the landscaper thought he'd be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the latest, and still a no-show. So I gotta get on the phone and talk to some people and see what's going on. So that's all I've got right now.
Do you know who the contractor is, too?
Well, I'm gonna talk to Sorensen Gross, the foreman of the job, and he'll contact the landscaper. But I was supposed to be in the loop, and I haven't heard anything, and I've gone down there every day or called Doug to say, are they on site, are they doing anything, and nothing. So I want to get it done sooner than later.
All right, it's more the season, too, that we usually.
Well, a lot of the grass has taken hold, but there's still some areas that you walk around there, if you're not paying attention, you could twist an ankle in some of the holes that they need to just do some regrading. They've got to pull out the construction silk fence they've got in there and a few other areas. I want it done properly.
Very good. And next is new business, generator maintenance contract, connection of the water tower to the fire department generator.
Okay, that was Lyle's question. So we're bringing it up under new business because there's a motion here. I'm not going to belabor this. We've talked about it quite a bit. Other than to say this is a contract that combines village generators, the water plant and the sewer plant, along with generators at the fire department, which obviously belongs to the township, so this is a joint effort. What's at hand here is a 5-year contract. We get billed yearly for this, and the bill will come to us and we will invoice the township. The township has already approved this, and Steve has looked at it. We have pulled out his old generator, so it's the contract that's in here has a lower revised price than what you saw before. It maintains the one-time price increase for the 5 years, so it locks that in, and it maintains the systems, our systems, twice a year, the fire departments for their requirements once a year. So it's a good contract, and the intent obviously is to keep all of these systems operating so that in the event of the next tornado or some kind of power failure like we had yesterday, the water distribution system, the sewer distribution system, operate, as well as the fire department. So I'm going to make a motion to approve quote QT 61143 from Cummings Sales and Service of New Hudson, Michigan, dated June 20, 2022, in the amount of $23,922.54 to extend our current planned equipment maintenance agreement for the next 5 years. The total cost of the village is $18,565.34, and the total cost to the township is $5,357.20.
Support.
That's a total for 5 years.
That's the 5 years, yeah. I didn't break out the 1-year cost, but did I have that in my note? I've had it in past notes, not this one. I can do that if anybody is.
Ross, I have a question. How many generators are we having serviced?
We've got 3 right now that are on the contract. We are getting a yearly inspection, followed 6 months later by a full service. The township has 2 generators on it. They have opted just to do the full service because the chief has got the fire department doing the inspection on the other part of the year. So, so slightly different requirement, but all bundled under this one contract.
Okay, so we're getting 3 done, and the township is getting 2 done.
Yes. Yep. Incidentally, we did assess the trailer mounted Onan that we have, but they advised that it's simple enough generator for the DPW to do a service on that, maintain it, in addition to the other 2 or 3 portables that we have.
Did you say we were getting maintenance twice a year and the fire department's getting 1 per year?
We get 1 full inspection in about the February-March time frame, and then in the July-August time frame we get a full service. The fire department has just opted to do the full service.
Okay.
Incidentally, all these are at the same time, so you know that all the generators in the village and the periphery of the village are all have had their service, whether inspection or full service, all at the same time of the year. So,
And so this quote here will not include any generator for the water tower. We're going to hook that into the...
It's using the fire department's generator, one of the 2 that are being maintained off of this contract.
Okay, very good. Okay, only that.
Any further question?
Roll.
Yeah.
Belkey?
Yep.
Shaw?
Yep.
Clark?
Yes?
Sledge?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes,
Bullock?
Yes. Motion
You all?
carried. No.
I'm gonna run over and get the chief to sign this tomorrow, and we're off and running.
Should Mark sign it? I mean, we didn't assign
Mark
any-
could sign it if he
Okay.
wants. It's just,
If you have the original,
I do.
okay, yeah, maybe have
I'll
him
bring
sign
it
it.
in and leave it for you to sign.
Okay.
I mean, somebody from the, I just want somebody from the township to sign it.
And then bring it
Whether
back
it's-
and then we
yeah.
can,
It's
that's
a chief's
fine.
initiative.
Right.
Whether somebody from the board wants to sign, I don't know. I'll find that out, but I'll have it.
Okay,
Yeah, good point.
Very good. All right, and next is, replacement of old mixer control panel.
Yes.
Steve?
Yep, I know I said at the last meeting, we're gonna go out, get some other bids, and we can't get anybody to come out. And there's even people who wanna charge you to come out. So, the guys, we do need this. It's a long lead time on that panel, and I'm gonna forsake trying to beat the bushes for more quotes, and go ahead with the quote we got from Best Company, which has been doing the electrical work, doing the whole project down there. So if there's no other questions,
How much lead time do they put?
well, what did they say, the delivery of the panel is estimated at 10 to 12 weeks. Yeah. I mean, look at those motors that are coming
Yeah.
from Sweden. I mean, everything that we touch down there has got long lead times.
When you're ready.
Mr. President, I resolve to approve the quote from DF Best Company dated June 5th, 2022, in the not-to-exceed amount of $16,600 to replace the old mixer control panel at the wastewater treatment plant.
Support.
By Val and Howard. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes?
Shaw,
Yes.
Duffy,
Yes.
Sutton,
Yes.
Bullock.
Good, motion carried.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, your next is the tax rate in March.
So what the next is to amend the motion.
Yeah.
Because we had to put that one on C1.
Yeah.
So,
So you have a C1 there?
because human error is human error, there was a typo on the motion that was prepared for the March 28th meeting. What this motion will do is amend that motion that was made, so the minutes are correct, to match up with where we're going tonight. So,
What is council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I'll resolve to amend the motion made at the March 28, 2022 regular meeting of council to accept the recommendation by Treasurer Adair to propose the 2022 tax millage rate at the maximum allowable levy as permanently reduced by MCL to 11.34D and authorized under Truth in Taxation, MCL 21124E, with full understanding that these requested tax levies will be reduced, if necessary, to comply with the state constitutional, Article 9, Section 31, MCL Sections 211.24E and 211.34, the following rates shall be proposed. General Fund, 8.8199 mils. Municipal Street Fund, 3.5277 mils. And PA 33, 2.0000 mils. Total proposed millage rate of 14.3476.
Support. Move. Support? Who supported?
Clark.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm very sorry. Any further discussion? If not, you don't want to...
No, it's just to amend the minutes.
All right,
so,
well,
yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. All right. You have a C1. What is your wishes?
I'm sorry?
C1.
All right, so C1, you already called roll on it, right? Or didn't call roll, you called for vote, right?
Yeah.
So we're good. So C2 is now to actually set the 2022 tax rates and warrants, which is
Right.
Okay, here we go again, another year,
Get your last year,
hopefully.
if that's any better.
The required documents that you guys need to adopt and make your resolutions is the resolution to adopt the 2022 tax millage rate, the 2022 assessor supervisor's warrant for real property, the 2022 assessor supervisor's warrant for personal property law, and your form 4029, L4029 rate request. So, do you want,
Well, what they do is they make these separate motions and then just assign all the warrants. This is the last one,
okay,
okay? So your motions are provided.
Okay, here we go. President, I'll resolve to approve the millage rate to be levied by the treasurer for tax year 2022 for operating the general fund be levied at the reduced rate of 8.6877 mils in compliance with the Headley 2022 reduction factor of 0.9850, section MCL 211.34D.
Support.
By Belkey,
Just on the
so
tax rates.
moved by Ballard, supported by Belkey. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
We'll do roll, just on the tax, just when we're setting the taxes, that last one is.
All right, well, let's do roll call on that.
Ballard,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Wolock.
Yes. Motion carried. All right, the second one, please.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to approve the millage rate to be levied by the treasurer for tax year 2022 for operating the municipal street fund be levied at the reduced rate of 3.4748 mils in compliance with the Headley 2022 reduction factor of 0.9850, section MCL 211.34D.
Support.
Give it to Chris.
Sleds.
Chris,
Yes.
moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
No,
Not-
no,
no,
no.
No, roll
That's
call.
right.
Ready? Ballard,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Wolock.
Yes. Motion carried. Next is the agreement between the Village of Armada.
No.
no, no.
No, PA 33.
PA 33.
You have
Two
one
more.
more,
Two
one
more.
more.
Well, one
It's
more.
to set the PA 33 amount.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hit that one on you.
Such a short sheet.
It is.
Mr. President, I resolve to approve the millage rate to be levied by the treasurer for tax year 2022 Public Act 33 special assessment be levied at the council effectively reduced.
Electively,
What?
Elected. It is elected.
electively
Oh, electively
reduced rate.
reduced rate of 2.0000 mils.
Support.
Moved and supported.
We'll do roll on this.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Sleds? Oh, I'm sorry, Ballard.
Yes.
Ballard. Sleds,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Wolock,
Yes.
Clark,
Yeah.
Belkey.
Yes.
Motion carried.
One more.
One more.
One more.
One more.
But don't need roll on that.
All right,
Roll.
Okay, Mr. President, I'll resolve to authorize the clerk, president, and treasurer to sign all warrants and forms related to the 2022 tax roll.
Support.
by Shaw.
It was in
Gotta give
stereo.
some business. All right, by Mallory and Shaw. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. So, agreement between the Village of Armada and the